For centuries, Rome stood as a beacon of power. It was the heart of a vast empire, its legions were unmatched. The city, it seemed, was eternal. But on August 24, 410 AD, this illusion shattered. A barbarian army, led by the Visigothic king Alaric, breached Rome's walls. For 3 days the city burned. The eternal city had fallen. This was not just a military defeat, it was a symbolic catastrophe. It sent shockwaves throughout the empire and beyond. The sack of Rome in 410 AD was a pivotal moment in history. It marked a turning point in the fate of the Western Roman Empire. Understanding this event requires examining the complex factors that led to it. We must delve into the social, economic, and military weaknesses that plagued the empire. This exploration will shed light on the events of that fateful August day. By the late 4th century AD, the Roman Empire faced severe internal and external pressures. Decades of civil war and economic instability had weakened its foundations. The empire had split into eastern and western halves. The Western Roman Empire, with its capital in Rome, bore the brunt of these problems. Its once formidable army was a shadow of its former self. Adding to Rome's woes were the increasing migrations of Germanic tribes. These tribes, pushed westward by the Huns, sought new lands within the empire. Among them were the Visigoths, a warrior people who had clashed with Rome for decades. The Visigoths, led by the ambitious Alaric, saw an opportunity in Rome's weakness. They demanded land and recognition within the empire. Their demands, however, were met with resistance and broken promises. This set the stage for a confrontation that would change the course of history. Alaric's Visigoths were not mindless barbarians. They were skilled warriors with a deep understanding of Roman military tactics. Alaric himself was a shrewd strategist. He recognized Rome's vulnerability and exploited it ruthlessly. He led his forces on a campaign of strategic raids throughout the Italian peninsula. He aimed to pressure Rome into meeting his demands. In 410 AD, after years of maneuvering and failed negotiations, Alaric made a bold move. He marched on Rome itself. The Eternal City, once thought impregnable, was ill-prepared for a siege. Its defenses were weak, its granaries were low. Panic spread through the streets as Alaric's army surrounded the city. The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of Rome. Section 4. The Sack of Rome, a city under siege. The Visigoths besieged Rome for weeks, causing hunger and disease to ravage the city. Desperate attempts to negotiate a settlement failed. Then, on August 24, 410 AD, the unthinkable happened. The Visigoths breached the Salarian Gate and poured into the city. Whether by treachery or negligence, the gate was left open, allowing Alaric's forces to enter Rome. For 3 days and nights, Rome was at the mercy of the Visigoths. The city was looted and burned. Temples and palaces were desecrated. Countless citizens were killed or enslaved. However, contrary to popular belief, the sack of Rome was not a senseless orgy of violence. Alaric, a Christian himself, reportedly ordered his men to spare churches and those seeking refuge within them. Nevertheless, the psychological impact of the sack was profound. Rome, the symbol of civilization and order, had been violated. Section 5. The Spoils of Victory, Aftermath, and Implications. After 3 days, Alaric withdrew his forces from Rome. They carried with them vast quantities of loot and prisoners. The city was left in ruins. The physical damage was severe. The psychological scars ran deeper. The sack of Rome sent shockwaves throughout the empire. It shattered the aura of Roman invincibility. The immediate aftermath of the sack was a time of chaos and uncertainty. The Western Roman Empire, already weakened, struggled to recover. The sack emboldened other barbarian groups. They saw an opportunity to seize their own piece of the crumbling empire. The event also had profound religious implications. Pagans blamed the sack on the empire's adoption of Christianity, while Christians grappled with the theological implications of such a disaster. Section 6. The Legacy of 410 AD, a world transformed. The sack of Rome in 410 AD was a watershed moment in history. It marked the beginning of the end for the Western Roman Empire. Although the empire lingered on for several more decades, it never fully recovered from this blow. The sack accelerated the decline of Roman authority and paved the way for the emergence of new Germanic kingdoms in Western Europe. The sack also had a profound impact on the cultural and religious landscape of Europe. It contributed to the decline of classical Roman culture and the rise of Christian Europe. The event became a symbol of the fragility of empires and the forces of change that shape history. The sack of Rome serves as a stark reminder that even the most powerful empires are not immune to decline and fall. It is a lesson that resonates even today.